I'm David Gwaltney. I live in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm originally from Bristol, Tennessee slash Virginia. And then I went to NYU for film school and then kind of lived all over the East Coast for the next like 10 years. And I finally ended up in Asheville, where I've been there for almost 10 years now.
What's your focus as an artist?
I guess I would ultimately say I'm an interdisciplinary artist. Music is very much at the core, but then also filmmaking and photography. And so I really struggle because I think for a long time I identified mainly as a musician. And then at some point I've kind of just realized that it's all one big pot of stuff.
Can you talk about when in your life you began your pursuit and what led you there?
Well, I guess, we were talking about that last night. Like, when you ask that, do you mean like when I started to learn piano at 7, or, making movies when I was like 13 with the early, digital video cameras? But I started like really writing songs probably when I was like 15 or 16 and started to learn how to record on my home computer. And that kind of led down one path, and then film school is another path, and then photography kind of naturally came out of working with the camera and just always having a camera around. I think a part of what drew me back here, because this is my second time, is the place. One, the building itself is just so beautiful. Even just like looking at this staircase right here, it's just gorgeous. There's just, yeah, all the little details in this home feel really special, and then the land is quite beautiful. So I think space is a big thing for me. And then, I think a part of my art is like processing, emotional processing, if not like some form of therapy. And so I do feel like I came here hoping to process a lot, especially around Hurricane Helene, and then the subsequent, 6 months of that. Um, but then also other life things. So yeah, I think also just like processing has been a sense of inspiration as well.
What have you been working on while you're here?
Yeah, well, I came again kind of like hoping to process and thinking, it was the last time I was here, I made like, I don't know, at least 8 songs I recorded, kind of like direct to camera monologues in the woods. And I was like hoping for that kind of like explosion of energy. But this time has been much more realizing that I need to finish things. And so it's just kind of, I've been kind of taking catalog of all my work and kind of figuring out what is close to being done, maybe how it could be sorted if it's an album, EP, or just a single, or again, like videos are a whole nother thing. So I've been kind of looking at a song that I've had for 15 years and really trying to. It's the recording is pretty much at least 90% there, and there's just a couple more elements that I've been adding, and then yeah, just kind of that for me. There's a lot of, I guess, emotional baggage that's really caught up in that song, and so I think just really hoping to finally let go, and hopefully that opens up. If that was a rock and kind of like a dam, like if I feel like it's a big one, if I can take that out, then hopefully that might open up the dam a little bit more for more releases to come.
Is there a best piece of advice you've received or you'd like to share with other artists?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I will say that something that I just heard last night is from Mike White, the writer director. He wrote and directed White Lotus, School of Rock. But he was just talking about how, for him, the creative process is comes in 2 phases. There's the open phase and the closed phase, and I feel like that really resonates with me. So the open phase being kind of like research and just kind of letting an idea gestate, and then closed being that time of completion and finally like getting to work and getting it to the finish line. And in some ways, I feel like the last time I was here, it was very much the open phase where I was just like, everything was just coming out, anything goes. And then this time, it's just been very much focused in that closed phase. And I think I've learned that I thrive in the open phase. And then that it takes a little bit more work for me in the closed phase. So I guess that advice for me, for the person, would be that just try to recognize where you are in the process and be okay with either one. It's productivity comes in many forms.